afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. We are still in the sky. Hey! It's puzzle 13, so that's right. Yeah. Drop one of the way. Oh dear. Oh. It's too bright. That's better. Achy, breaky heart, just don't think he'll understand. I won't tell my hand, achy, breaky heart, just don't wanna feel the same.
Hey, kitty. You want a treat? You need your fresh drink first. Ozzy Osbourne's dead.
What?
Yeah.
No way!
Yeah. The funeral's on the news.
Oh
Ozzy
no!
Osbourne.
I'm gutted.
He's dead. Passed away 76. Young. Young. See, baby. Come on. You want a treat?
That's fucked up.
There you go. Bring it on. Come on. Yeah, okay, hang on. Yeah. Yeah. Oh dear. They're nice. Me bloody fingers. Loads left. Keep going. That's it. All gone. You got it all. Happy? Yeah. Full fat now. I've got you one. Huh? There you
Patrick. You don't have to call me that, you know.
What?
Patrick.
Hi, Patrick. Hiya, Pooperhontis. You happy? Yeah, she's happy. She's rolling round.
Hi, Susan.
Hi, Susan. Hi, Kitty Cat.
You just know that's my nickname, don't you, huh? I'll let you off.
Oh dear.
Oh, I can't believe that Ozzy's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a belly rub then. There you go.
Gary, what are you up to?
Dinner. Let's make you dinner then.
Fed up. Fed up. Fed up. Fed up.
Give you a different dinner. You hungry? Yeah? Give you one of these. Try all this. Try it with something different. Okay? Try that. Yeah. You're eating that. You're alright with that. I'll give it sardines. What am I up to? Nothing. Been cutting some timber, planing timber. Had a big warp in it, so I put some cuts in it to straighten it. I can't do any cement work because the forecast rain for later on. So I'm not doing what I did yesterday because it's all washed out. So
And I just don't know.
been watching YouTube Live
Yeah.
in the UK.
Seeing what's going on in the world.
Yeah, going back to what I used to do, supporting UK channels.
Mhm. And I've not long finished my
I
garden
love
job. Well, 5.
Not even been on my game today or anything. I'm trying to get shit done.
I had a little go on my Ask Flipper 2. before I
That nice?
started this live, obviously.
Okay. To get her some more cat food this week. Down to 2 boxes. Well, 4 boxes, but 2 of them are open. We'll need to stock up again. Get a big stock in, which means I need to get more cat biscuits from down there. Another couple of boxes or so. Get all that stock back up. I'm not sure anything. I was just doing a bit of woodwork, getting this panel ready. Putting some more pipes in, because the pipes I put in is not going to be enough. Another 2 extra pipes in, another 2 drainage pipes. Ta-da!
I'm trying to
Is
see.
that nice? Good girl.
Trying to see the colours.
Lots and lots of things to do. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole, my sister. Yay! Yay!
Is that nice? You like that? Thought you might like that. Bit of a change for you. Eh? Okay. Okay. I'm going to watch the birdies. What to make tonight. Don't know what to make.
Yes, see, I can see it better now.
Yeah. Come down for something. Oh, a drink. 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 Hot. Hot, hot, hot. Hot.
How's everyone day been doing or going or whatever it is, whatever time it is there? The usual, the usual, the usual. La da 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 da. Ooh, this week I'm gonna hoping to try out the 2-card tarot reading. So I'm gonna move up in the world, my journey. Before I can do any 3-card spreads, I'd rather do it this way. So I've done 1 card for quite a while now, few weeks, couple of weeks, and then I decided that I want to do a bit of 2-card instead. What are you doing up there? You done it again, ain't ya? Can't leave him alone for a minute, can I? So yes, I'm gonna start learning how to do a 2-card spread, starting from after this live. So hopefully start learning. I'm picking up the how can I say it, the lingo. I'm thoroughly enjoying the tarot reading. I've always wanted to do that. And being as I am having abilities of my own, that makes it more exciting to me. And the results out of the one card, spread, just imagine with 2, let alone 3. So I'm just winging my way through to up to 3, and then maybe in the future I think I can add up to 10, a 10-card spread from what I've learned. But I love my cards. My cards are awesome. And I've heard that you can also do communicating with spirit with tarot cards. Oh, something different. Never heard that before. Well, at the weekend I'm gonna have to cut down that fuchsia tree. It's growing wild. That's if the weather's good. Because at the moment it's been unpredictable. anything. Why? I am. I'm just gonna put on something. 7 episode 6. No, 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 no.
Remote chilly waters of Lake Michigan lies a sunken fortune. 5 chests stuffed with gold and bullion worth millions. Tonight we'll join a dangerous underwater quest to find the Poverty Island treasure. Also tonight we'll take you to the phone center for a very special milestone. The solving of our 200th mystery. And a very special update. The reunion of a GI and the buddy who saved his life in Vietnam. Join me. 2 hours of intriguing cases, a celebration of 200 solves on Unsolved Mysteries. In December of 1993, Unsolved Mysteries received this postcard. It is not exactly in the vein of our usual viewer mail. The card read, "Forget Circleville, Ohio. Do nothing to hurt Sheriff Radcliffe. If you come to Ohio, you El Sickos will pay. The Circleville Writer." It's not often that we become part of a story we're investigating. But in this case, it didn't come as a total surprise. For the past 18 years, residents in and around Circleville, Ohio, have received literally thousands of bizarre letters and postcards. They represent an insidious campaign of character assassination, which some believe has left one man dead and another unfairly imprisoned. Circleville, Ohio, 30 miles south of Columbus, is a place that rarely attracts outside attention. In fact, the town's main claim to fame is its annual pumpkin show. For years, Circleville was a stable workaday community. Then in 1976, the letters started.
One of the very first letters, if not the first letter, was received by Mary Gillespie, a school bus driver, telling her that the letter writer was aware that she was having an affair with the superintendent of schools and that it had better stop.
In addition to allegations of an affair, the letter carried an ominous threat.
I know where you live. I've been observing your house and know you have children. This is no joke. Please take it serious.
What are you doing?
The envelope was postmarked Columbus, Ohio. There was no return address outside, no signature inside,
Where are you going?
no way to tell whether it came from a man or a woman. Within 8 days, Mary Gillespie had received another letter similar in tone.
From me?
Mary?
Let me kiss?
Mary apparently kept the letters to herself until her husband, Ron, received one as well.
What's going on?
All right, I already got 2 of these, okay? And I didn't say anything because it's not true.
What do you
have
mean
to
you
know
got
it's
2 of
not
these?
true.
Why didn't you say something?
Because I thought they would just go away. And
And this letter, addressed to Ron Gillespie, told him that if he didn't do something to stop this affair, that his life was undoubtedly in danger.
The alleged affair was a rumor tailor-made to set any small town on its ear. The superintendent of schools and a school bus driver. Soon the anonymous writer was threatening to go public.
Gillespie, you have had 2 weeks and done nothing. Make her admit the truth and inform the school board. If not, I will broadcast it on CBs, posters, signs, and billboards until the truth comes out.
Mary and Ron evidently confided in 3 family members: Ron's sister, her husband Paul Freshour, and Paul's sister.
what was that movie? It was in black and white, where they wrote letters. They thought they knew who the suspects were, so they wrote letters to them.
I know who you are.
Mary had some ideas about who was sending the letters, and she had a plan.
Letters back, telling them we know who they are.
Oh, you do it. You print well. What do we say?
Just like the letters. We know who you are. I think
We thought
something else.
we'd, scare the guy. We did 4 or 5 letters only, nothing, there was no violence in him or anything, just that we knew who he was and what he was doing, and we sent him the letters.
For a while, the plan worked. The threatening letters stopped. Then, on August 19th, 1977, Ron Gillespie got a phone call.
Who is this? No, you listen to me. We're sick of this, okay? No more letters, no more phone calls. We're sick of the whole thing. Just end it, all right?
No one knows what the caller actually said, but the call apparently confirmed Ron's suspicions about the identity of the letter writer.
He told the children he was going out, he was going to confront the letter writer. He took his weapon. He did not seem to be drunk. Said goodbye to his children and went out.
In the heat of the moment, Ron Gillespie ran to the family's red and white pickup, even though the letter writer had often referred to the fact that he or she was watching that truck. Perhaps Ron didn't remember. Perhaps he was too angry to care.
Within a short distance at an intersection that he knew very well, he lost control of the vehicle, hit a tree, and was killed. Somewhere in between leaving the house and hitting that tree, his gun had fired 1 shot. And there was never any explanation for when or how and whom that gun could have been fired.
Pickaway County Sheriff Dwight Radcliffe, who declined to be interviewed for this story, supposedly investigated and eliminated at least 1 suspect. He then ruled Ron Gillespie's death an accident. But several Circleville residents soon received anonymous letters saying that Sheriff Radcliffe was perpetrating a cover-up.
First of all, the sheriff agreed with me there was foul play. And then when I contacted him again, he'd changed his attitude completely. Then he was telling me that it wasn't foul play, that it was the suspect had passed a polygraph test.
Gillespie had 0.16% alcohol, which would in Ohio be 1.5 times the legal limit. Most people I've talked to said that he was not a heavy drinker and were surprised by that kind of finding.
Was Ron Gillespie's death an accident? Was he really drunk that night? And why had 1 bullet been fired from his handgun? 6 years after the death of Ron Gillespie, the Circleville, Ohio letter writer was still waging his or her vicious campaign. The initial targets, Ron's wife Mary and the superintendent of schools, eventually acknowledged a relationship, but both claimed it had begun after the letters rather than before. Mary was still driving a school bus to support her family. In 1983, the letter writer began to put up signs along her bus route. Finally, Mary's daughter was targeted. Mary Gillespie had had enough.
She ripped the sign down. Much to her surprise, behind the sign was this box and some string, and also another post that was attached to the fence post. She took it into the bus, and she opened up this rather unusual sized box. As she opened it up, there was a small pistol.
On closer examination, Mary realized that it was a crude booby trap designed to fire the gun at her. An amateurish attempt had been made to rub the serial number off the handgun. When lab tests were able to raise it again, the case took an incredible turn. The gun belonged to Mary Gillespie's brother-in-law, Paul Freshour, who had just split up with Ron's sister.
I admitted the gun was mine, but I hadn't seen it for a long time. I'd had no reason to check up on it or anything, and I don't know when it come up missing. I really don't know what happened to it, and I told him that, and that's, you know, that's the truth. And that's how it was.
On February 25, 1983, Sheriff Radcliffe called Paul Freshour in for questioning and asked him to take a handwriting test.
We don't have all the answers we'd like to have just yet, okay? What I'd like you to do is to take this...
Under the impression he was helping to protect another family member, Paul agreed. The sheriff told him only that the missing gun was somehow linked to the Circleville letters.
This is an actual letter. I want you to copy as closely as you can on the pad what you see here. In other words, write what they have written.
He would give me an actual letter and ask me maybe to do the envelope part just as near as I could in the envelope. And then on some, he would take the actual letter out and have me to do them as near as I could on the letters. From what, you know, from right there in front of me. And I did them because I knew I wasn't responsible for the letters. And I knew the evidence would clear me. And then he dictated letters, and he asked me to, you know, recopy in my mind the same way on this dictation as I had recopied from the actual letters and envelopes.
Everyone is talking.
He made sure that I did them, you know, in a reference of how I'd copied them, because that was very important to him. And I did the best I could and turned everything into it.
That is not the proper way to test to see if someone has a certain writing style, because if they're copying from a letter, they're going to try to emulate the style. So, and the experts said that the testing was improper. So they didn't really say that these letters were written by Paul Freshour. They said that they could have been.
Why, pardon the mess, but I usually try to keep it a little cleaner than this.
After the handwriting test, a still unsuspecting Paul Freshour took Sheriff Radcliffe to his garage.
Sometimes I used to keep it up here, and then on top of the refrigerator.
Paul showed the sheriff where he had kept his gun. Afterwards, the two men returned to the courthouse.
I didn't think about it.
He called in the prosecutor and told the prosecutor that was my writing on the booby trap. And then the prosecutor is the one that actually told me that there was a booby trap found, and I was under arrest for attempted murder and placed on a $50,000 cash bond.
On October 24th, 1983, Paul Freshour went on trial for the attempted murder of his sister-in-law, Mary Gillespie. Even though Paul wasn't charged with writing the threatening letters, they became a crucial part of the evidence against him. What you are about to hear is verbatim testimony from court transcripts.
And did you explain to the handwriting analyst how you went about obtaining the samples?
Yes, I did.
And did he indicate which part of these he would actually use in his analysis?
The ones we dictated were the ones that would be used for comparison, not the ones he copied.
It is my opinion that the handwriting on the envelopes, documents, and postcards were printed by the same person, it being the known handwriting, or hand printing, of Paul Freshour.
Have you, at any time, suspected the defendant of being the one responsible for writing these letters and putting these signs up?
Not at first.
Well, when was your first indication that you had where someone indicated that it could possibly be him?
It was August of 1982, and his wife came to see me and indicated it might be a possibility.
Yeah, this is the weekly time record for Paul Freshour for the week ending 2/12/83.
And what days was Paul Freshour working that week?
Mr. Freshour worked Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of that week.
Did he work Monday?
No, he did not.
And
The Monday in question was the very day that Mary Gillespie had found the sign and booby trap. Even though Paul Freshour had an alibi for almost the entire day, he never took the stand in his own defense. It was a decision which Paul would come to regret.
We, the jury, find the defendant Paul L. Freshour guilty of attempted murder. We further find and specify that the defendant did have firearm under his control.
I couldn't believe it. I was just in shock. And I know they put in some good evidence, and there was evidence withheld, but still yet, I mean, you know, I can't blame the jury because the jury didn't hear all the evidence. But I was just, I just couldn't believe it. I was really in shock, you know, and I was probably in shock for a year after I was in prison. Unbelievable.
Paul Freshour was given the maximum sentence for attempted murder, 7 to 25 years. Everyone assumed Paul had written the Circleville letters, and everyone assumed that with Paul behind bars, the letters would stop. Everyone was wrong.
They were being received all over a large area of central Ohio, so a lot of people couldn't understand how Paul Freshour could be mailing all these letters from prison.
Following repeated complaints from Sheriff Radcliffe, Paul was placed in solitary confinement. Still, the letters continued. All of them were postmarked Columbus, even though Paul was imprisoned in Lima, Ohio, 200 miles away.
You go into a single-man cell, and that's it. You know, it's nothing in there with you. No pencils, no papers, no nothing. Restrictions, you wouldn't believe. Pat down, cell searches, visit monitoring, mail, outgoing mail, always examined and tested, and maybe some days I'd get my mail, maybe some days I wouldn't.
We have, of course, reviewed your file in preference to your visit with us today. And although we find some nice things about you in the file, there are also some things that concern us a great deal.
After 7 years in prison, Paul Freshour became eligible for parole. In the weeks preceding his hearing, the volume of anonymous letters increased dramatically. Despite their Columbus postmarks, the letters worked against Paul. He was denied parole, even though he was universally regarded as a model prisoner. A few days later, the letter writer sadistically wrote a letter to Paul himself.
Now when are you going to believe you aren't going to get out of there? I told you 2 years ago, when we set them up, they stay set up. Don't you listen at all? No one wants you out. No one. The joke is on you. Ha, ha.
Full-scale investigations were conducted twice, possibly 3 times, during which Paul Freshour was put into isolation, and the warden of the prison he was in during one of these investigations then wrote a letter to Paul's wife saying that as far as he was concerned, it was impossible for Paul to be writing these letters and sending them from prison.
When Martin Yant reviewed the sheriff's investigative file, he uncovered evidence never mentioned at the trial, which he believes might have kept Paul Freshour out of prison altogether.
Mary Gillespie told the sheriff that one of the other bus drivers told her that she had been driving that same road about 20 minutes before Mary Gillespie found that booby trap at exactly that site. And when she went by that very same intersection, there was a yellow El Camino parked there. A large man with sandy hair was standing there. When he saw her come, he turned around and acted like he was going to the bathroom or something, but seemed also to be avoiding any kind of identification. The description of the individual does not fit Paul Freshour at all, and Paul had a very solid alibi for this time of day. There was no attempt at all to follow up on that lead. And if they had, as I say, they would have found that another possible suspect in this case had a brother who had a yellow El Camino.
In May of 1994, Paul Freshour was finally granted parole after serving 10 years. To this day, he staunchly maintains his innocence, and he is sure that the real criminal is still at large.
I'd really like to see someone really look at this case on the letters, reopen the letter part of it and get in and find out who wrote the letters. I'd also like to see someone look into this, to my former brother-in-law's death. Look, that's not my family anymore, and, that's my past. I'm not even gonna look back at it. I've got a new family and a new future, but I still would like to see someone look at that accident real close, and the letters. And that's what I'd really ask.
So many questions remain in this most bizarre case. Who did write the Circleville letters? At whom did Ron Gillespie fire his gun? Did that person kill Ron? Who was responsible for the booby trap found by Mary Gillespie? And finally, who stole Paul Freshour's pistol? When we return, Agatha Christie, the world's most renowned mystery writer, becomes a focal point of her own tantalizing unsolved mystery. In 1823, the poet Lord Byron wrote, "Truth is always strange, stranger than fiction." Just over a century later, the great mystery writer Agatha Christie, author of such famous novels as Murder on the Orient Express and 10 Little Indians, would prove that Byron was right. You see, when Agatha was 36 years old, she became the subject of her own real-life unsolved mystery, demonstrating that truth is not only stranger than fiction, often is directly related. On the morning of December 4th, 1926, Agatha Christie's car was found abandoned, about an hour's drive from her home on the outskirts of London. Agatha had apparently vanished into thin air, but some suspected the worst, that her husband Archie had done her in.
The press was fascinated, so was the public. Agatha was a famous woman. She was known to be a mistress of mysteries. This was a real-life mystery.
The story was taken up with great glee by newspapers around England. What had become of Agatha Christie? How could one of the most well-known women in the country have disappeared off the face of the earth? She was born Agatha Miller in 1890. Her father was a wealthy American, her mother a proper British lady. Agatha was raised in the moneyed upper middle class of English society. In 1914, Agatha broke an existing engagement to marry Colonel Archibald Christie, a dashing pilot in the Royal Flying Corps. Archie had pursued Agatha aggressively, even though many thought they were opposites in every way.
Everybody tells them it's a bad idea. It's the war. They get married on Christmas Day. And he immediately goes off to the war. A very, very traditional and romantic tale.
While Archie was fighting in the skies over France, Agatha worked as a nurse and in her spare time launched a writing career, creating the famous Belgian detective H. Hercule Poirot. Agatha's first book, published 4 years after the war, was called The Mysterious Affair at Styles.
That first book was a sensation. She didn't expect anything like that. And nobody expected it from a rather plump, placid, ordinary-looking girl. She hit the jackpot straight away.
The next 3 or 4 books did a little better each time. And then with her 5th book, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, she really hits the big time.
In 1926, Agatha, Archie, and the young daughter Rosalind moved into a mansion which they named Styles after Agatha's first novel. Archie had been successful in his own right, a retired war hero turned investment banker. On the surface, the Christies looked like the picture-perfect family.
Archie was a real stockbroker. He was a British, proper, upper-crust, boring man who looked good. He was extremely conventional.
I'm playing golf at the weekend. Care to join me?
I don't believe I can.
As you will.
Agatha looked conventional, but inside she wasn't. Inside, she wanted more.
Later in 1926, when Agatha's mother, Clara, died, the strained civility of Agatha and Archie's marriage cracked.
Agatha was absolutely distraught for the death of her mother. I think she had really never left the mother's side, and this is possibly one of the reasons why the marriage wasn't a great success, that she still remained very much a family girl. And when the mother died, it really unhinged her a bit.
Agatha took Rosalind and her nanny to Ashfield, a rambling Edwardian home where Agatha had grown up. Ostensibly, the move was temporary, to sort through her late mother's possessions, but it dragged on for weeks. Archie stayed away. Agatha's grief for her mother was too deep to fathom.
At 36, I think most women would mourn their mothers. But with Agatha Christie, it wasn't just sorrow. It was something approaching melancholia. It was an almost pathological condition, I think. And so she lived at Ashfield in this terrible sense of disorientation, physical stress, with no one to confide in, looking forward to the point when Archie would come down and celebrate with her their daughter's birthday.
Agatha, please do sit down.
The birthday celebration did not play out as Agatha had hoped.
Agatha, I want you to give me a divorce.
A divorce?
That's what I want.
No, Archie. Absolutely not. Never.
That's what I want, Agatha. I will not be moved.
It seemed that Archie had become involved with a woman named Nancy Neal.
Well, this was absolutely devastation for her. She had been betrayed. She never thought that a man could do this to her. I think she would have even lived with Archie having a mistress. But the fact that he wanted to divorce her destroyed her.
In a last-ditch effort to save her marriage, Agatha took Rosalind and moved back home.
I think you should stay at Styles this weekend, Archie. We could spend some time alone together.
Wow, what? What, because I used a big word?
Excuse me.
On December 3rd, 1926, Archie took off alone, bound for a weekend house party. By some accounts, Archie and Agatha argued bitterly before he left. Agatha must have suspected that he planned to rendezvous with Nancy Neal. With Archie gone, Agatha was left to stew in her own misery.
Either at 9:30 at night or around 11 o'clock at night, according to different reports, she left the house in something of a state. The maids were alarmed by the way she went out. We know that she took with her a small traveling case and that she wore her fur coat.
Agatha left behind at least 2 notes. One was addressed to her secretary, asking that she cancel Agatha's weekend appointments. Another of unknown content was addressed to Archie.
Tomorrow says it's not going to rain.
Superintendent. All right. Show me what you got, Constable.
The next morning, Agatha's abandoned car was found just an hour's drive from Styles.
Again, the exact time seems to be in doubt. It had gone off the side of the road. It was not turned over. There had been no big accident.
A local man found the car on his way to work, sir. The license was in her case. That's how we know it's Mrs. Christie. Her coat's still in the car, sir.
It was different, wasn't it?
Cold night to be out without a coat.
Very cold indeed, sir.
On Friday.
What's this? No luggage, sir. One small bag. 3 dresses, 2 pairs of shoes, and this, sir.
Very nice. Thank you, Constable.
Archie Christie had been tracked down at his house party. He made an unfortunate appearance at the very moment the authorities were beginning to suspect foul play.
Yeah, what's going on?
Superintendent?
Hello, Christie.
Who are all these people?
In a Ferrari.
Oh, just curious.
They've got to be here.
Too late to stop them now, sir. They know the gist of it already.
Colonel Christie, have you any idea where your wife might be?
No, sir. None. I haven't a clue.
Pardon me for asking, but
Fucking idiot bankers.
where were you last night?
I was away. At friends.
You were?
Yes, Superintendent, I was.
Won't you fit in my hole?
Excuse me, sorry to bother you. Just one question
I wonder
about
if I can
Colonel
ask
Christie.
you-
Just one question. Was the Colonel asking for a
The press had already gotten wind of the event.
away from the house and keep the
The superintendent went to Styles to question Agatha's secretary and other staff members. But no one was able to shed any light on Agatha's strange disappearance.
Have you spoken to the staff?
Yes, sir, I have.
The police
Miss Christie
launched
left.
vigorous attempts to find a body. There is a small pool nearby called the Silent Pool, which Agatha had in fact used in one of her previous stories. And this is dragged, I think, at least twice. They enrolled the public and I think even parts of the army in kind of beating the bushes, quite literally. Dorothy Alceas and her husband engaged in this very activity. So there were days of searching. Meanwhile, the press is trying to investigate every angle on the case. They very rapidly get onto the Nancy Neal angle. That is to say, they start putting 2 and 2 together. Colonel Christie wasn't at home. And the plot they start to evolve is, in fact, a murder plot, possibly a suicide plot. She has been driven to suicide by the cruelty of her husband and his infidelity. Or, even more interesting, she is refusing to divorce him, and so he decides to make away with her. And the fact that so many of the elements in the situation mirror Agatha Christie's own published fiction makes the whole thing so much more fascinating.
Fascinating indeed. All the more so when witnesses came forward to say they had seen Agatha Christie. The first, a workman named Ernest Cross, was trekking to his job on the morning of Agatha's disappearance.
You all right, Mom?
What are you doing here?
Cross said Agatha seemed distraught. She wore only a thin dress despite the chilly weather.
I can't start it. I've tried.
Can I help you then?
Will you? Oh, please.
Certainly.
Very good. Very good. I'll just get in.
All right then.
According to Ernest Cross, Agatha drove off in the opposite direction from Newlands Corner, the village where her car would later be found. The plot thickened. If Agatha Christie was dead, she certainly had a strange habit of popping up all over the countryside.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me where I am?
Yes, ma'am. You're in Guildford in Surrey.
Is that the train?
Yes.
2 railroad porters who spoke with Agatha outside the
Ma'am.
station in Guildford assumed she had boarded a train.
Thank you.
11 days later, the final chapter of Agatha's adventure would be acted out. The scene, an elegant health spa in Harrogate, 200 miles from her home. An alert musician in the dance band notified authorities that Agatha Christie, using an assumed name, was a guest at the spa. The superintendent wasted no time bringing Archie Christie up to Harrogate.
Where shall I wait?
Right here in the foyer, sir. She'll have to pass through here.
Where will you be?
It's through there.
How long shall I wait?
Until she passes by, sir.
Very well. Agatha.
Archie. Dear brother, you come to take me home.
Brother?
Archie, it's so good to see you.
For reasons known only to herself, Agatha at first identified Archie as her brother, not her husband.
We've been searching everywhere for you. The police thought you were dead.
Is this your wife, Colonel?
Yes, it is.
Mrs. Christie.
Hello?
Agatha, please, we must talk. Come with me.
What I would like to know is what happened when Archie and she went upstairs that night. And they sat in that room all night talking. I mean, did they give each other hell or what? That's what I think nobody, of course, will know. And did he say, well, I have no intention of ever coming back to you? I think he must have, because that was the end, that was the tragic moment that night.
How long have you been in Harrogate, Mrs. Christie? Is there another man involved?
Agatha and Archie made their getaway from the spa amid nearly hysterical press hoopla. Both refused to comment about Agatha's mysterious disappearance, so reporters all over England began to dig furiously. Backed up by Agatha's doctors and encouraged by her family, the press at last concluded that Agatha Christie had been suffering from amnesia.
I believe that Christie had a definitive and terrible fight with her husband. It drove her over the edge. She had been depressed. Now she becomes, on some level, psychotic. She is not herself. She takes on another identity. She wanders off. She gets on the train. She takes another name. She goes into this hotel, and she lives another life.
Dear brother, you come to take me home.
That's very, very, very rare, but it's known, it's documented in the annals of psychology, and we know that Agatha Christie was an unusual woman.
Well, I think, and from my elderly age, I think she plotted and planned it from the start. It was, she went to the only thing she knew. She went and used the media that she knew, which was revenge, mystery, possibility of murder. She checked into this hotel under the name, I think it's just madly funny. She checked in using the name of the girlfriend, Neil.
Table for one for Teresa Neil.
I think she took endless delight in the fact that the police shadowed Archie. Poor Archie had a hell of a life. He couldn't go anywhere because they suspected him of murdering her. And I think she took marvelous delight in reading this in the papers.
Okay, Kitty.
Again, I think in a sort of revenge and twisted up sort of way she was thinking. But it was very funny.
Agatha and Archie Christie quickly went their separate ways. Agatha married eminent archaeologist Max Molyneux in 1930, 2 years after Archie had wed Nancy Neal. By all accounts, both couples had long, happy marriages. Agatha Christie went on to write more than 100 novels, becoming the best-selling mystery writer of all time. In her later years, Agatha also wrote her autobiography, but it would not be published until after her death in 1975. Agatha's curious fans had waited 50 years to have her strange disappearance explained once and for all, but she wrote not one word about it. Agatha Christie, mistress of mystery to the end, had taken her secret to the grave. Next, a very special celebration, the solving of our 200th mystery.
You finished early, Rocket.
past 7 years, the phone center has been an integral part of our operation, providing the crucial link with you, our viewers. Recently, activity at the phone center took on added excitement as we counted down to a very special milestone, the solving of our 200th mystery. Since our first broadcast in 1987, scenes like this have become a familiar and welcome sight. Thanks to your alert tips, more than 100 fugitives have been captured all across the country, and even in such faraway places as Panama in Central America and the island of American Samoa in the South Pacific. No less important are the heartfelt reunions of separated family members and long-lost friends. To date, your calls have helped us solve 63% of our lost love cases, a success rate beyond our wildest dreams. As we approached the magic number of 200, each call to the phone center was met with rising anticipation, and the final solves reflected the diversity of our show. A mother and daughter separated by adoption in 1937. A man wanted for murder. A suspected con artist. Two sisters who had not seen each other in more than 20 years.
It's so good to see you.
And now there are 200, all made possible by you, our viewers. Since today is Veterans Day, it seems only appropriate that we celebrate our 200th solve with the uplifting story of a friendship forged by the difficulties of war.
We're gonna take a little run.
In 1964, 19-year-old Mitchell Shigemoto of Honolulu, Hawaii, made it through a rigorous training course to join the prestigious 173rd Airborne Division of the United States Army. The next year, Mitchell and his unit were transferred to Vietnam. At the front, within the ranks of his own army, Mitchell ran into a strange bias. He looked just like the enemy.
Move on, Jap. Hey, you got a problem? Yeah, I don't serve zipper heads. Let's go. You want to go? Come on! Come on!
What's the problem? Why don't you just do your job and serve the soldier?
All right, just relax, okay?
But one soldier, James Pearson, stood up for Mitchell.
All right.
Mitchell and James had become best friends when they were posted in Okinawa en route to Vietnam. On January 2nd, 1966, their unit ran into heavy fire. When Mitchell Shigemoto caught a bullet in the thigh, James Pearson came to the rescue.
There was one sniper that was keying in on us. James took a position right in front of me, just like he was trying to block off the shots, you know. James actually saved my life. And what I say to him, I said, James, and...
Hello. Oh, you're getting heavy. Oh. Hey, what's that? Heavy. On your bag? Don't you dare! I'm going that way. You going in your bag? Hi, Scratch Master.
Hi, Scratch Master.
What I said, Rocket, was, have you been for your smear test? I was joking. It was a joke. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I was just me messing about, you know me. She's eating all that dinner. She likes that. slowly closing up.
Wow, you found that piece. I think that'll do it. It's getting there.
You're getting there. You're filling it in bit by bit.
Right, I'm going to call it now, everyone.
Yeah, I've got to figure out what to make for dinner. We have to go through the freezer. Go through and see what we've got. Got loads in. Just can't make me mind what I want.
No. Right, I'll see you guys later on. Take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for joining us on the Art Live, and I will see you later. Lots of love to you all. Bye for now. See you later.
Bye.